Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the Finance 360 degree sessions. In today's session, we are going to cover a very important news article, a very important press release and notification that has been released by the Reserve Bank of India recently only. So this is regarding the PIDF scheme. Okay, so there is a status update, the enhancement, the extension that has been brought in the PIDF scheme. So all of this we are going to understand that what is the status update, what are the data points that have been released by the Reserve Bank of India, what are the enhancement and extension that have been released by the Reserve Bank of India. And let me tell you that this news article, this press release and notification, they are important for the RBI grade B point of view, NABARD grade A and SEBI grade A point of view also. Okay, so you have to extensively understand this PIDF scheme, and in today's session I'm going to cover it thoroughly in a holistic manner, so you have the clarity regarding the PIDF scheme and what has been brought by the Reserve Bank of India, what new things have been brought by the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so let's get started, but before that, do subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our Telegram channel for the PDF of this session, and the link for the Telegram channel is given in the description box below, where you will get the PDFs of the session. Okay, so starting with the PIDF scheme, first of all you have to understand that the Reserve Bank of India and the Government of India, they are continuously trying to convert our economy from the cash economy to the digital economy. Okay, so this is the idea that the Reserve Bank of India is promoting, that more and more digital transactions should happen. Now for the digital transactions to happen, the merchants, like if you are going to a shop, you have your mobile phone, you have the money in your UPI or you have the money in your wallets, but the merchant do not have any QR code. The merchant is not accepting the digital money, or the merchant is not accepting because the merchant does not have the QR code, or you only have your credit card or your debit card, but the merchant does not have the POS machine. That means the merchant do not have the payment acceptance infrastructure. The merchant does not have the QR codes, the merchant does not have any POS machine or the mobile POS machine. So the merchant is not able to accept the digital transaction. The merchant is not able to accept the UPI payments or the card payments. So the digital payments will not happen, right? The digital transaction could not happen, or you will need to have the cash to give to the merchant to buy the thing that you want. So there was the idea that was developed by the Reserve Bank of India that we have to promote the deployment of the payment acceptance infrastructure for more and more digital transactions to happen. Even in the far off areas, these QR codes, these mobile POS machines or the POS machines, the simple POS machines, point of sale machines have to be provided, so that even the far off areas merchants, they are also able to accept the digital transactions, the digital payments. So that's why there was the launch of the Payments Infrastructure Development Fund scheme. So this is the scheme that is operationalized by the Reserve Bank of India in January 2021 for a period of 3 years, and there is the extension that has recently happened that we will study. Okay, so the PIDF scheme, it was operationalized by the Reserve Bank of India. Now the objective of the scheme, I hope you have understood that the objective of the scheme is to encourage the deployment of the payment acceptance infrastructure with the merchants, such as the physical point of sale terminals have to be provided, such as these machines, the mobile POS or the simple POS machines have to be provided, the quick response codes, that is the QR codes, have to be provided in the tier 3 to tier 6 centers. Tier 3 to tier 6 centers are the semi-urban areas, they are the rural areas. Okay, and to the eastern states also, these POS machines, to the merchants, these POS machines, these QR codes have to be provided. So this was the idea, that even in the far off areas, even in the semi-urban areas, even in the rural areas, to the merchants, the payment acceptance infrastructure has to be provided, so that the merchants are able to accept the payments from the customers. Okay, in the tier 3 to tier 6 centers and northeastern states, this was the primary focus areas of the during the start of the scheme. But now the primary focus area is expanding. Let's see that. So from August 26, 2021, beneficiaries of the PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi, that is PM Swanidhi scheme. So the beneficiaries of the PM Swanidhi scheme have been added under the PIDF scheme. In the tier 1 and tier 2 centers, they are also being covered under the PIDF scheme. So the basic idea is that the street vendors, because the street vendors, they are not very rich to buy the POS machines or to buy the mobile POS or to just buy the QR codes also. They are apprehensive, or they are not, because they have to give the money, they are not very much sure about the QR codes, that they should buy it or not. Okay, they should have it or not. Or the street vendors, they do not have much money. Okay, so the street vendors of the tier 1 and tier 2 centers, like the tier 1 and tier 2 centers are the urban centers. Okay, so let me show you. So these are the tiers, tier 1 and tier 2. They are the urban centers, they are the urban cities, or they are the cities and the towns. The tier 3 to tier 6 are the semi-urban areas, or they are the tier 5 to 6, they are the rural areas. So you can see that the tier 1 and tier 2, they are the cities, they are the big towns, but you can understand that still there are the street vendors that do not have the money to buy the QR codes and such. So to help them, they were brought under the PIDF scheme, that so that they can get the QR codes and the POS machines in the subsidized rate, Okay, so under the PIDF scheme, the payment acceptance infrastructure is provided at a subsidized rate. Okay, so from August 26, 2021, the beneficiaries of the PM Swanidhi scheme, that is the street vendors in the tier 1 and tier 2 centers, they were also covered under the PIDF scheme with the tier 3 and tier 6 centers. The complete tier 3 and tier 6 centers are under the PIDF scheme. Now, other than the northeastern states, now the Jammu and Kashmir, the union territories of the Jammu and Kashmir and the Ladakh regions, they have also been brought under the PIDF scheme. They are also included as the special focus areas from June 9, 2022. So the Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh regions, they are the union territories. They have also been brought under the PIDF scheme as the special focus areas with the northeastern states. So I hope you have understood that tier 1 and tier 2, they are the urban centers, they are the cities, they are the big towns. Tier 3 to tier 6, they are the semi-urban or rural areas. Okay. So they are the semi-urban and the rural areas. Now coming to the status update that has been brought by the Reserve Bank of India recently. So the corpus, the money in the PIDF stands at rupees 1026.37 crores as on November 30, 2023. This is the data that has been released in December 2023. As per the following details, so let's see the breakup. The contribution from stakeholders, different stakeholders are there. So Reserve Bank of India has provided the corpus of 250 crores. The authorized card networks, because card networks, if the POS machines are being used more by the merchants, that means more cards, like the people will be able to use the cards easily. More card transactions will happen. Card networks will also benefit. The card issuing banks will also benefit. So they also have to provide some money in the corpus for the PIDF scheme, so that more subsidized POS machines and more subsidized QR codes can be provided to the merchants. Okay, so Reserve Bank of India has provided 250 crores in this scheme. Authorized card networks has provided 474.48 crore in the scheme. Card issuing bank have provided 742.71 in the PIDF scheme. So this is the subsidy payout is 541.73. So till as on November 30, 2023, this is the breakup, and this is the subsidy that has been provided from the corpus of the PIDF scheme. So till now, the subsidy of 541.73 crores have been provided under the PIDF scheme. Okay, so subsidy payout is this much under the PIDF scheme. Okay, this much subsidy has been provided till November 30, 2023 from the January onwards. So if you see that the first, second, so this much interest has been earned on the money. So this is the contribution from stakeholders and the interest earned minus the subsidy payout, because this has been paid out from the corpus. So in total, right now, the corpus has this much of the money. Okay, so I hope you have understood this clearly, that how much money is left in the corpus. This much money is left in the corpus till now, from January onwards till now, till November 30, 2023. How much subsidy paid out has happened. So this much subsidy has been paid out. Okay, so these are some of the important data points that you have to remember. That is subsidy payout and the total corpus, and how much RBI has contributed, that is 250 crores. When the corpus was made in the January 2021, it was decided that the RBI, okay, will be putting some money in the corpus. So currently RBI, like the RBI contribution is 250 crores. So now status update, the number of payment acceptance devices deployed under the PIDF scheme as on November 30, 2023, that is from the start, from the January 2021 till November 30, 2023, how much payment acceptance devices have been deployed under the PIDF scheme as on this date. So the location from tier 3 to tier 4 centers, physical devices are this much, digital devices are this much. Physical devices are the POS machines, mobile POS machines and such. Digital devices are the QR codes. Okay. Now tier 3 to 4 centers are there, then tier 5 to 6 centers. They are the very semi-urban centers, or they are the rural areas mostly. Okay. They are the most far off areas that actually require lots of help from the PIDF scheme. So that's why they have got more of the digital devices. Okay, special focus areas, northeastern states and the union territories of the Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, they have got this much devices. Tier 1 to tier 2 centers, the PM Swanidhi scheme, the street vendors under the PM Swanidhi scheme, so they have got benefit under the PIDF scheme, that is this much. And the total is 8 lakh for the physical devices and 2 crore 71 lakh and 95,000. So this much is for the digital devices. You do not have to remember all the nitty-gritties. You do not have to remember all the data points, but just remember that how much total has been paid out, or how much total of the payment acceptance devices have been brought till the November 30, 2023. Okay. So this is the major status update that has been brought by the Reserve Bank of India. Now coming to the extension of the PIDF scheme. So validity period, the validity period when the scheme was launched, the validity period was from January 2021 till 3 years. Now it has been extended by 2 further years. Okay, so the validity period was 3 years from January 1, 2021, and it was extendable by 2 further years if necessary. And the RBI has now decided, okay, that the final decision has come out of the Reserve Bank of India to extend the PIDF scheme by a further period of 2 years, that is up to 31st December 2025. So in January 1, 2021, the scheme was launched. 2021 to 2022, 1 year would have been completed. 2023. So this is 1 year complete. Then this is from January 1, 2021 to January 2022 till January 2023, and by December 2023 this scheme should have ended. Okay, because the 3 years would have been completed by December 2023, but now it has been extended to December 2025 for 2 further more years. So remember this time period, that from January 1st 2021 the scheme should have run till December, from January 1 2021 till December 2023. These are the 3 years for which the scheme had to run, but now it has been extended by 2 further years, that is till December 31st 2025 the scheme is going to run. So the validity period is till December 2025 now, that is for 5 years. This scheme is valid now. Okay. So now we have discussed about the status update that has come under the PIDF scheme. We have also discussed about the extension under the PIDF scheme. Let's understand about the enhancement that has happened in the PIDF scheme. So to widen the scope of the beneficiaries and to widen the scope of the acceptance infrastructure, following enhancements are being made. Okay, let's understand them one by one. So first is beneficiaries of the PM Vishwakarma scheme in all the centers. That means tier 1 to tier 6 centers, they have been included as merchants under the PIDF scheme. So PM Vishwakarma scheme is which scheme? So PM Vishwakarma scheme, it is empowering the traditional artisans and the craftspeople. The PM Vishwakarma scheme, it is a central sector scheme that was launched on 17th September 2023 by the Prime Minister of our country to provide end-to-end support to the artisans, to the craftspeople who work with their hands and tools. Okay, so to support them, this PM Vishwakarma scheme has been launched, and under with this scheme, the PIDF scheme is helping this scheme now. Okay, helping the beneficiaries of this scheme. So the PIDF scheme is going to help the beneficiaries of this scheme by providing the POS machines, by providing the QR codes and the other acceptance devices that are recently introduced at the subsidized rate. So the subsidized at the subsidized rate, at the subsidized amount, the POS machines, QR codes, and the other additional acceptance devices will be provided to the beneficiaries of the PM Vishwakarma and such under the PIDF scheme. So PM Vishwakarma scheme, if you want to know more and more about the PM Vishwakarma scheme, you can see Diksha ma'am's session. She has brought a complete session on the PM Vishwakarma scheme. So the PM Vishwakarma scheme, it was launched in 2023 on September 17th, 2023. Nodal ministry is the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. It is providing benefits to Vishwakarmas who are either self-employed or intend to set up their own small-scale ventures. So they are the merchants, they are the cobblers, they are the carpenters, the boat maker, the armorer, the blacksmith, the tool and kit maker, locksmith, cobbler, shoesmith, and such. So they are the merchants that are providing these services that are provided through their hands or through their tools. So PIDF scheme is going to help these merchants that are the beneficiaries under the PM Vishwakarma scheme by providing them the POS machines, by providing them the QR codes and acceptance devices at the subsidized rate. So they have been brought under the PIDF scheme. So I hope you have understood that the beneficiaries of the PM Vishwakarma scheme in all the centers, they have been included as merchants under the PIDF scheme. As easy as that. Now all the eligible installations that have happened since the start of the PM Vishwakarma scheme from the September 2023. So the POS machines that have been provided to the Vishwakarma, the beneficiaries of the PM Vishwakarma, and the QR codes that have been provided to the beneficiaries of the PM Vishwakarma scheme, all these POS machines and the QR codes, they are eligible to be under the PIDF scheme. So all eligible installations since the inception, since the start of the PM Vishwakarma scheme from the September 2023, that is September 17, 2023, they may prefer claims. They can claim, they can get the reimbursement, they can get the subsidy under the PIDF scheme for their payment acceptance devices. Okay. Now the second point is regarding the sound box devices. So as I have told you that before there was only the POS machines, before there were only the QR codes that were eligible under the PIDF scheme. Now, or let's say the physical devices, POS machines, MPOS, and there are one or two more things that come under the physical devices. So only those, as well as the digital devices, that is actually the QR codes, only these were eligible under the Payment Infrastructure Development Fund to get the subsidies for. Okay, but now to widen the scope of the acceptance infrastructure, sound box devices that actually tell that okay, the payment has completed and such, and Aadhaar enabled biometric devices, they are also eligible for claim of subsidy under the PIDF scheme. So I hope you have understood this clearly, that now the sound box devices that are the special kind of QR codes and the Aadhaar enabled biometric devices, they are also eligible for claim of subsidy under the scheme. So these would be eligible for subsidy under the scheme for installations that is made from October 1, 2023. Now there is one point that the PIDF, like the enhancement and the extension, this was announced by the Reserve Bank of India that the RBI proposed these enhancements and the extension in the PIDF scheme in the Statement on Developmental and Regulatory Policies document that was released on October 2023. In this Statement on Developmental and Regulatory Policies document, RBI said that the RBI is going to bring the enhancement and extension. So this was the statement that the RBI gave for the PIDF scheme. So that's why the soundbox devices and the Aadhaar enabled biometric devices, these would be eligible for subsidy under the scheme for installation that is made from October 1, 2023. So all the soundbox devices and such devices that have been installed in the eligible areas, they can get the subsidy if they have been installed from after the October 1, 2023 or from October 1, 2023. Okay. So now next point, the last point is that the subsidy for special focus areas, that is the northeastern states and the Union Territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, they have been made uniform at 90%. So the subsidy is 90% of the cost of device, irrespective of the type of device. It can be the physical device such as the POS machines, the MPOS, or it can be the digital device, that is the QR codes, or it can be the new devices like the sound box devices or the Aadhaar enabled biometric devices. So they all are eligible to get 90% of the subsidy, 90% subsidy of the cost of the device. So you can understand that this is specially for the special focus areas. The amount of subsidy for the devices that is deployed in the special focus areas is increased from 75%, before 75%. So if the cost of a device is 100, 75 rupees will be provided as subsidy. Okay. But now 90% of the total cost is provided as subsidy, irrespective of the type of device, for installation made from October 1, 2023 onwards. Okay. So this is the claims. The scheme is on reimbursement basis. You have to understand this, that first the payment device is installed, payment acceptance device is installed, and after that the reimbursement is taken, okay, in the form of subsidy. The reimbursement will happen. Okay. Maximum cost of physical device that is eligible for subsidy. So maximum cost that can be of a physical device that is eligible for subsidy is rupees 10,000. Physical devices are what? Physical devices are the POS machines, the MPOS, okay, mobile POS, including one-time operating cost of up to rupees 500. Maximum cost of digital device that can be eligible for subsidy is rupees 300. Digital device are the QR codes, including one-time operating cost of maximum rupees 200. Maximum cost of other contemporary device that are eligible for subsidy. Contemporary device means the new devices like the soundbox devices have been recently introduced in PIDF scheme, and the Aadhaar enabled biometric devices, they have been recently included in PIDF scheme. So maximum cost of other contemporary devices, the new devices eligible for subsidy rupees 2,000, including one time operating cost up to maximum of rupees 300. Okay. Now as per the location, the reimbursement will happen. So for the special focus area, like the reimbursement has increased. So let's understand this one by one. So as per the location, the reimbursement or the subsidy will be provided. Okay. So as per the location, the subsidy will be provided. So for tier 1 to tier 4 centers, in the tier 1 and tier 2 centers, only the PM Swanidhi scheme beneficiaries are eligible, as well as the PM Vishkarma scheme beneficiaries are eligible for the subsidy under the PIDF scheme in the tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 3 and tier 4, all the merchants are eligible under the PIDF scheme, because the PIDF scheme is specially for the tier 3 to tier 6 areas, or tier 3 to tier 6 centers. So for tier 1 and tier 2, remember that only the PM Swanidhi scheme beneficiaries, the merchants that are under the PM Swanidhi scheme, the street vendors that are under the PM Swanidhi scheme, only those are eligible for the tier 1 and tier 2 to get the subsidy under PIDF scheme. And the beneficiaries of the PM Vishkarma scheme, they are also eligible. If they are from the tier 1 and tier 2 centers also, then also they are eligible to get the subsidy under the PIDF scheme. Okay. For tier 3 to tier 4, these are the centers, like all the merchants, they are eligible to get the subsidy under PIDF scheme. Okay. So for the physical device, 60% of the total cost will be subsidized. For tier 1 to tier 4, 75% of the total cost of the digital devices will be subsidized. 75% of the total cost of the other contemporary devices will be subsidized. Tier 5 to tier 6 centers. So in the tier 3 to tier 6 centers, these are the areas, centers to be covered under PIDF scheme. Okay, completely. So tier 5 to tier 6 are the areas that are more far off areas. They are the more rural areas, or they are the more semi-urban areas. Okay, so that's why they are given more subsidies. So 75% of the total cost for the physical devices will be subsidized. 90% of the total cost of the digital devices are being subsidized. 90% of the total cost of the contemporary devices will be subsidized for tier 5 to tier 6 centers. Special focus areas, for these special focus areas, 90% of all the devices will be 90% of the total cost of all the devices are being subsidized or will be subsidized. Okay. So I hope you have understood this clearly. Now these are the target geographies that I have already told you, that the primary focus shall be to create payment acceptance infrastructure in tier 3 to tier 6 centers. So these are being covered completely. Tier 3 to tier 6 centers, completely all the merchants, they come under the PIDF scheme. Okay. The scheme shall include the eligible beneficiaries that are covered under PM Swanidhi scheme and the PM Vishkarma scheme in Tier 1 and Tier 2 centers. So from Tier 1 and Tier 2 centers, as they are not directly under under the PIDF scheme, but in the Tier 1 and Tier 2 centers, the PM Vishkarma beneficiaries and PM Swanidhi beneficiaries, they will be eligible to come under PIDF scheme. Okay, so only these beneficiaries or the merchants that are under these schemes, they are eligible to get the PIDF benefit, or they are eligible to come under PIDF scheme. But the other merchants, they are not eligible. Okay, northeastern states of the country and the union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, they shall be given special focus under the PIDF scheme. So these are the target geographies, these are the target areas. Okay, target PIDF target increasing the payments acceptance infrastructure by adding 30 lakh touch points every year. So this is a target of the PIDF scheme that has been mentioned in the scheme. Advisory Council under the chairmanship of the Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of India has been constituted to manage the PIDF scheme. Okay, so an advisory council is there under the chairmanship of the Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. So that will be managing that is managing the PIDF scheme, and that will be managing the PIDF scheme going forward. So this is the first question. I hope you will be easily able to answer this question, and I hope you were able to understand the status update, the enhancement and the extension. If you want one more session on this, I can bring another session on the PIDF scheme, but I hope that today you were able to understand the basic of the nitty-gritties. Okay, so this is the question. Try to answer this question. Try to answer this. Now, this is the second question. Again, try to answer this question. Very easy question. So now I want to show you the students that have given the right answer of the previous session question. So, the Harshit, the innovations in banking, the emerging role for technology, this has been covered by Surbhi ma'am in her lecture in the Perspective 360. So you can see that. Okay. Subhashri, thank you. You are most welcome. And Subhashri has given the right answer. Sonali has given the right answer. Sorish has given the right answer. Jayant has given the right answer. Molly has given the right answer. Abhishek has given the right answer. Okay. Shibanand has given the right answer. Kingshuk has given the right answer. YDV, Komal, user. Harshit has given the right answer. Nilesh has given the right answer. User. Abhay. Jay, Suraj, Riya. Update. Banker, Durga, Abhiman, Tukidas, user, Harshdeep, Bhavna, Ankit, Ronak, Siddharth, Shumam. So these students have given the right answer. So Prashant, English. It becomes difficult to switch in between the languages. Sometimes you forget what you are trying to say. So, but I will try to inculcate this to switch between Hindi and English. But usually if I switch between Hindi and English, it will become difficult for the students that do not understand Hindi to follow up the session. Na? So that's why if like we are following English, because of the descriptive answer writing you have to write. So it becomes easier in the examination to remember that the session and such. Okay. So these are the students that have given the right answer of the previous session question. So thank you very much. And thank you very much. If you have any query, you can comment down below, or you can call us here. You can contact us through this email ID. And thank you very much. Have a good day. As well as do give the right answers of the homework question. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone.